Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso@the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we have an example of the Urwerk UR-100. This is the 100V P.02. It is a 20-piece limited edition created in collaboration with Collective Horology. This was a 2021 model year launch, and it is inspired by the Space Shuttle. The timepiece is based on the UR-100 platform, and it comprises a hybrid of titanium and steel with a compelling media-blasted finish and a very easy to wear ergonomic equation that I'm going to demonstrate now. Before we get into any of the time displays or the unique satellite display system, fit comes first. So, difficult to explain the fit of a watch shaped like this, but it is 41 millimeters from this side to this side. I measure it at 13.6 millimeters thick, and then from end to end, the absolute distance across the wrist, 49.9 millimeters. Let me just show it to you on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist so you can get a sense of how it sits on a wrist of a known size. It looks bigger than it is. And I'm going to say that unlike a lot of shaped watches, this one wears pretty much true to its size. If you want to think of it as a 41 millimeter watch, it really does kind of wear that way. I could probably wear it on a wrist a little bit smaller than mine because it's not supposed to look dainty or small or proportional. I probably wouldn't go any lower than 15 centimeters circumference. And surprisingly for an Urwerk, it is fairly flat, and a lot of the height is the domed crystal, so it will slide underneath a lot of cuffs. You're not used to seeing a integrated, factory provided, and you could even see model consistent strap from Urwerk, but that's exactly what we have right here. Now the watch does have a secondary orange strap with a pin buckle, but this one is clearly designed by Urwerk's design chief Martin Fry to look consistent with the rest of the watch. You can even see how it mirrors the serrations in profile, and then it tapers down. It's very flexible. You can see on the bottom it says time is on your side. The rotor design is echoed in the little recesses of the strap itself. We have many pre-scored sections, as this is an uncut brand new Urwerk factory strap. We have a deployant clasp, and you can see it features blackened metal with a little design, much like the buckle you'll find in an aircraft or perhaps in a space shuttle, which is the inspiration for this model. And you can see that it too features little serrations in profile to echo the case. The watch is beguiling the way most Urwerks are. The first thing a lot of people wonder is, how do you tell the time? We could see P02, a little screw-fixed satinated number plate tying it to Collective Horology. This was, of course, the UR-100V P.02 in Collective Horology's sequence of collaboration watches. As with just about every Urwerk, not every, but just about every Urwerk since 1997, we have a satellite time display. So 6 pointing to 30 means 6:30. Now 6 pointing to 40 means 6:40. And you can see that there are 3 satellites, each featuring 4 integrated hours on a carousel that spins. And so as the outgoing hour exits stage left, the incoming hour enters stage right. And at the top of the dial, there is a little cam that rotates them into position. And this whole assembly is the manufacturer watchmaking from Urwerk, as Urwerk uses Zenith Elite automatic bases. This part up front is where Felix Baumgartner, co-founder and watchmaking lead at Urwerk, this is where he puts his work on display. So let's do a quick loom shot, because Urwerks, people always ask me, how loomed are they? And they're generally quite well loomed. And as you can see, not just one, but 2 different tones of loom with several different layers of brightness added. We will activate the mechanism now, because it's always a lot of fun to watch these things operate in the dark. In some ways, they're more animated in the dark than they are in the light. You can also see it has the name of the company as well as the model of the watch. It says UR-100V on the base plate. Now let's take a look at this in the light, because there's a little bit more going on. In addition to the media blasted sort of anthracite coloration, we have these little 20-minute sweeps. And you can see this is 30, but the actual window is 20. So on a conventional UR-100, this would be the distance the Earth rotates on its axis in 20 minutes, and then it would be the distance Earth flies through space in 20 minutes. But what you're actually looking at here, you can see the calibrations are a little bit different than the 20 minutes on the standard model. These are designed to represent times that are significant for the approach and departure of the space shuttle that inspired this watch. So the space shuttle, of course, a reusable payloader that could fly into orbit with a payload. It could deploy that payload, and then it could fly back and land like an airplane. It's been retired for quite a number of years, but it remains an inspiration to fans of aerospace technology. And so there is a manual that comes with this watch that explains exactly how these numbers, which you can see right here, relate to the launch and recovery of the space shuttle. Now flip it all over, and although it does have a Zenith Elite base, Urwerk made one major change to the base movement, which is the addition of this Windfanger rotor. And the idea here is that it will slow down the winding to reduce wear and tear on the Zenith movement underneath. So the combination of the carousel on top, the rotor with the Windfanger, and the Zenith automatic at the heart of the whole system, it is called the 12.02. It's an automatic winder with unidirectional winding action, a 48-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz beat rate, and 39 joules when you add all of the Urwerk components to the Zenith components. Although the finishing here looks like it might be industrial, it is actually artisanal, and it's hard to get the full benefit of that, especially considering these are ultra lightweight alloys, unless you see the watch in person. But the closer you get, the more impressive it becomes. Rest assured, this watch made out of Geneva respects the conventions of high horology, and it is simply full of surprises. It's also something you know for a fact your friend is not going to have. A cool piece from one of the original independents. Urwerk first exhibited in 1997 at Basel. They've gone the distance, they've proven their staying power, and they are considered to be modern masters of their craft. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.